The 1920s, often referred to as the Roaring Twenties, was a decade marked by significant cultural, social, and economic changes. The rise of consumer culture, jazz music, flapper fashion, and significant advancements in technology and industry. Is it rolling? As a woman in the 1920s, my utmost favorite part of this era is the new installment plans. With this plan, I am allowed to purchase an item while being able to pay it over time. I absolutely love this plan because I am able to buy these shoes for no cost. Of course, I would pay it after, but what's the fun in that? As a result of these installment plans, many large companies like Ford Cars installed this payment plan into their corporation, and American families were able to buy the first ever cars. Now, with the ability to drive wherever people pleased, people were able to drive their automobiles to the movies, to the theaters, to watch sports, and to view music and art. What is your favorite part about the 1920s?
Well, as a man from the 1920s, I can confidently say that this era has brought me economic prosperity and the ability to take care of my family.
What would you say is your favorite sport and why?
Well, I'm glad you asked. My favorite sport of all time is baseball. Seeing as I have more leisure time from work, I spend my past time going to baseball games. My favorite athlete of all time has got to be baseball star George Herman, also known as Babe Ruth.
At the same time, radios were being introduced to modern households. With these radios, people were entertained during the immense amount of leisure time from work. Information was now easily accessible by anybody. Francis Scott Key Fitzgerald was an American novelist, essayist, and short story writer. He is best known for his novels depicting the flamboyance and excess of the Jazz Age.
In Paris, Scott Fitzgerald, who spun the first great tales of the Jazz Age, writes of the pro-youth, pro-freedom, anti-Puritanism revolt.
One of his most famous books was Tales of the Jazz Age, published in 1922.
Flappers and bootleggers of all the sad young men.
During this era, entertainment was an important factor of an average American family's life. The 1920s was the era in which the art movement called Art Deco came to be.
Club queen on the downtown scene.
Many historians believe that the art movement, Art Deco, represented the changing and fast-paced life that the 1920s had to offer society. The Roaring Twenties really was a time for art to flourish.
Well, if you ever plan to motor west, Jack, take my way, it's the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. Well, it winds from Chicago to LA, more than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66.
Route 66, established in the 1920s, was one of the first highways in the U.S., facilitating westward migration and economic development. Route 66 was immortalized in literature, music, and film. Whoa, what was that? In the 1920s, airplanes saw significant advancements, including the development of commercial aviation and the expansion of air travel routes.
Aviation pioneers like Charles Lindbergh made history with transatlantic flights, while companies like Boeing began producing commercial aircraft. Airplanes played a crucial role in connecting distant regions and revolutionizing transportation and communication during this time. Fashion in the 1920s saw the rise of the flapper style for women, featuring shorter hemlines, looser silhouettes, and bobbed hair. Men's fashion became more casual, with looser suits and sportswear gaining popularity. In the 1920s, electric products like refrigerators and radios were advertised as modern conveniences that could simplify life and improve comfort. Ads highlighted time-saving benefits and appealed to women as household managers through print and radio commercials, like these. In the 1920s, movies transformed with the introduction of sound.
We are receiving these returns by special arrangements with the Pittsburgh Post and Sun. We'd appreciate it if anyone hearing this broadcast would communicate with us, as we are very anxious to know how far the broadcast is reaching and how it is being received.
To the song of the roaring, 20, so wild and reckless, never boring, rousing, roaring, speak easy,